Hi everybody, Jeremy here from Flatware Creations. This is take number 2. Alright, so we're going to size some rings, and I'm going to work on a little experiment to try and figure something out if possible. To get this cat started here. Wiped over to there. Like my mic is working, and let's go. Hi Darla, welcome back. So I lost where I was. 10, 9, 8, 7s. Hi Monica, welcome back. So yeah, I called it. I looked and my Wi-Fi was out, and I'm like, how's the Wi-Fi out? My vacuum, I have one of the little Roomba type vacuums, shut off the power strip. So I made it go to bed. Make sure it went to bed. Yep. Okay. Where were we? I'm sizing different rings in my stainless steel mandrel. I kept losing the lines on it, so I put my own. The numbers there. So I'm resizing. I need a random mix between 6.5 to size 10. So I'm gonna look for some small ones. Most of my rings come off the fender at about an 8, but it's super fast to downsize them, especially the spiral ones. Okay, so I got a small one here, got a smallish, that one's that one, this guy, and those be 6.5s, and make some 7s. Bigger. I gotta get this organized a little bit better this time. Can you guys hear me okay? Better than before. Okay. 6s. These will be my 7s. Got a bunch of 8s. Those 7s. Those 9s. 9. F. F. 7. Okay. This should be good there. Okay, good. So this one is already 6. So the way that I cut the rings, so I have it cut so it can slide under, which allows me to still keep a round ring and have it so much smaller. That's a size 6, but it's the same measurement that I have for a size 9.5. Just the amount that's tagged underneath. And if you know that you're going to be making smaller ones, I'd cut them a little bit shorter. But for the most part, I say that and I don't even know what the measurement is. It is about 3 inches, and for spiral, about 3.5. But most of the spiral I try and get some of the pattern on the bottom. So sometimes they're a little bit longer, sometimes a little bit shorter. All right, so that one's already set. So these were going to be my 7s. For the spiral rings, I like to have the larger side going up. And I'm going to take this down actually. Got caught in my sleeve. So to downsize this, what I'm going to be doing here is I've got my mandrel pushing down on the bottom. There's a gap between there. I'm going to tap on the smaller side and then on the bigger side, and then I'm going to roll it a little bit. Just try and keep everything even. That still keeps me nice and round without any real gaps. So I'll just keep going with it. So the important part here is to make sure that you're getting this side level with this. So as you're sizing down, you want to kind of keep them going together. Now we're at a 6 1/4, almost at a 7. If you see any spots, like there's a spot right there that has some air coming through, give that a little tap, and that put us just past a 7. There. Now we're at a nice clean 7. There we go. I just wanted to round over that edge a little bit more. Nope, I moved it. That one's done. We'll get these going. It's so funny about the vacuum cleaner. We're going to size 7 here. So just pulled my mandrel out. The leather is helping the ring stick to it, and it's right up top center. So small one, big one. So we're right at a 7. And repeat. So for this, the downsize the round rings, I first come down on the top of the smaller piece. I'm gonna bring that down a little bit. I'm gonna roll it towards me. I'm gonna hit the top. That's gonna allow me to make that hole smaller by shrinking in that inside first. Then you're bringing the top down on top of it. Helps you size it down pretty quickly. We are right. I'm just above the line, so I'm looking for my little high spot, and there it was. Nice and round. So that's 7. Got one more of those. Actually, this one, I'm gonna make this one an 8. One is an 8. Something fell. I think it's my stabilizer that holds the laptop. Yep, it was. All right, so now everything's going to be fuzzy for me, so let me know if the things are blurry. All right, let's get these done. Seven. Eight. Again. Right, just above a 7. Found my little spot. Boom. Nice round 7. Yeah, I have lots. Some of the harder patterns that are thicker, sometimes you don't want to be really small. We're gonna make this one. Oh, a little trick. If your ring goes off center, so it's more one side than the other, I'm gonna put the side that is higher that needs to come down to line up. A lot of times you can just take the back of the mandrel, put it right up against there, give it a nice tap, and make it one more. Nice and center. See where it's at, right at an 8. But we're going to take it down to a 7. Half. 7. 7.5. Go. Nice clean 7. Sometimes you're going to have little flat spots. You'll see. Ooh, that one's hard. That's why it didn't go. So you're going to be 9. Take it to like a 9.5. Finding my high spot. Okay, right here. Nine and a half. A little bit smaller. Good. Made it a little too small. And it doesn't take a whole lot to get your number. You just keep tapping on those high spots. Will actually work its way right to it. So, 9. Back to our 7s. Pretty much everything is done. I'm leaving the ring pretty much where it's at, but I'm just rotating it. Everything's done with the mandrel. So we're at a 7 right there. That's good. Another 7. We're starting at a 9. Went to a 7.5. 7. Pick my spot. 7. Last 7. Yeah, we're starting from a 9 there. Somebody sent me a picture earlier of a ring, and I'm gonna try and see if I can get it done with fork tines. The other option is to do it out of a hollow handled knife. That was the original idea. We'll keep the half ones. 7.5. 8. 7 and a half. This one is an 8. It's really pretty pattern. Get that right. So this one, I'm going to make an 8 carnation pattern. Sometimes you got to be careful with some of these patterns because they'll try and break at any weak spot in the pattern. Sometimes they'll crack if you bend them too hard, too sharp of an angle. That 7 or 6.5. And this one just a touch, and this, the part where I count it is whenever it slides to it free. So if I'm taking this and I take it up to, say I put this at a 10, it's gonna come back probably to a 9.5. So I always try and get that number where it's loose. That's 9.5. It's always nice to have the little higher or little half sizes. Normally they're just picking them up out of a little tote or something. Display. 8.5. 8. We're going to bump that down to a 9. So just as I was tapping that on, it dropped that off. Easy fix. Flip it over, tap it back the other way. And you kind of set it there. We're at a 9. We're nice and round. We're flush. Flush. Now we're cruising on up. Go for 9s. This would be probably a 9.5. What do you think of this music, Darla? Right now it's at a 8. But right there would make it a 9. Is a 9. This is 8.5. Lost track. That's funny. My brain is so fried from being on the computer all day. We're going to 9.5. But I got my taxes done. Woo! Don't have to do that for another year. If I side on side of caution, 9, anything from a 7 to a 9 is pretty safe for most people. When I was doing the shows, I would size them on the spot. So it didn't matter what size I made them for me, because a few seconds and I'd have it sized up for them. This one's got to go a ways. So I can see the 9. This down a little bit. Thank you, Monica. Said you do such great work. Sure, that's a huge relief. Yes. Yes, it is. I wanted this at a 9.5. At a 9. So I'm going to take this to 10. Hitting it like that, you can take off the tips of your mallets. A little super secret Jedi trick is you go with a smaller one. This is just one of the PVC pipes I use for my bun holders. You can get the smaller ones and they'll fit right on there. You hold your finger to it, you can tap on this and it will size it right down for you. Save you a ton of time and save your hammer. Right, glasses back up. We are at just over a 9. I need a little bit more. Who's making noise? No noise. That's good to know. I always make them too big. Yep, if they're too big, put it right down there, pull your mandrel right out. Do the inside bit first, and the top piece, inside, top. That one down to 7. We needed 9.5. Pepperoo. Alright, so this guy is going to be 9. Well, right now this is, I'm going to leave it an 8. That one's a 9. Okay, these are my big guy. I'm going to take these all the way up to 10. You can kind of see got some air coming through there. By tapping on this, it's nice and light. It's actually helping me to get it to that size 10 without really having to bang on it. You're just basically hitting the part that has air and pushing your mandrel in. These were 10s. A little bit more. I'm excited to see if I can get this new ring to work. So I pulled this down. It's not quite a 10, but I've got air pocket here. Top back down, and we're at 10. Woo! These are nice for larger rings. This pattern, that's a 10 right there. We can lock it in there. And yes, they get our 10, but we're lopsided a little bit. Nice and straight. What we want. Nice little trick. What makes you decide whether you want to make it a bigger size ring? So part of it is the size of the ring. What I mean is basically the size of silverware or the pattern. So the amount of room that a ring takes up on your finger, if it's a giant pattern and you try and make this a 10, the only place some people can wear it would be on their thumb. Time to take my meds. Would be on their thumb, because those larger rings take up a larger section of finger, which is why most people wear these up top instead of the other way around. It doesn't matter which way they want to wear them, but normally I try and go for the thicker patterns. I want to be my bigger sizes. If somebody's wearing a bigger size, they're going to be more used to a larger ring, and that larger ring is going to be what they're mostly looking for. There we go. And it slides back. Oh well, that's the way it is now. So yeah, basically it's the ease of making a bigger ring out of a thicker pattern than it is to make that thick ring a smaller size. For the most part, I try and just keep them balanced out normally. Like I said, most of the time I'll just resize it on the spot, but whenever I'm doing them for orders, unless they specifically say that they want X6, X7, X10, I'll throw those half sizes in there. And a lot of times you'll see, even in your regular size, there's a gap So there's that little gap, right? This, come on, camera. Right there, there's a little gap. And that little gap actually allows more of your finger tissue to get into the ring. So if it's a 9 and you need exactly a 9, it might feel a little bit loose because it has that extra little room in there. So doing the half sizes, a lot of times it will go up to the next size. is there a more common size majority go for? I would say 8s and 9s is where a lot of them are. Not too many 6.5s or 6s. 7s, if I was going to make rings for a show and I didn't have anything to resize them with, I would make a whole bunch of 8s and 9s. That would get the most amount of sales, more than likely. Where I'm at anyways. Yeah, it just depends on your clientele, but if you just want to make a ton of rings, I would make 8s and 9s or 7s, 8s and 9s all day long. Okay, I'm taking a drink and let's start experimenting. So, ooh. I think I can work with that. So here's the task. I can find it here. This was an image that was just sent to me today. Not my item or their item. So that's the ring. And what I saw first was I saw 2 fork tines kind of made there to the point. So what I was thinking is if I could take 2 long tined fork tines from a dinner fork, I'm going to cut this down. I'm going to cut this little corner off. I was going to turn this into a fork heart pendant, but I think we're going to cut that off and we're going to try and make this thing into the pitcher. So let's get over there. Yeah, I liked it. They said that they were thinking about doing it out of a knife handle, a hollow handled knife. But when I saw it, at first I saw two fork tines. Okay, it's gonna be loud for a second. Okay, so kind of warm now. If I was gonna do this and make it an actual ring, I would make sure that both sides are even, because this side isn't as sharp as this one. But we can still use this to our advantage. So we have to fold it out. We can make our chevron piece there. Put this mouse key. Put this here. So we're gonna bring this, I need to open the tines and sweep them back. And I'm hoping that they'll have enough room to come underneath. So, handy dandy fork tine bender. So that's tight. It needs to chevron out. I'm trying to bend it back and away. Tighter. At a certain point, we have to make sure it's going to fit on top of our finger. I actually have it this way. So, taking it around there like that. Looks like the knuckle right at the point. Not my knuckle, but where they meet. So I can come back off my finger just a little bit more. I'll pull these away a little bit. Now I'm going to put this in my bender. I'm going to go for some rings. Okay, you guys can't see. I know. Turn. See where that puts us. Pretty close. So I want this to get curved this way. But I don't want to do it in that channel. A little squeeze. Okay, we got some bend going there. Hey, sitting on my finger. Now I can see what you're doing. I understand. Lou said, do you ever anneal, or is it not recommended for silver plate? So you can anneal silver plate. You just want to be careful that you're not getting it so hot that you're melting the plate off of it. Normally I don't. After working with the silverware for a long time, I recognize some of the patterns and the way they feel that they're just gonna crack and break on me. So I try and use those for other things. But for just these little experiments, I'll try pretty much anything. I think I'm gonna go just a little bit smaller. See what happens there. Didn't really get me a whole lot. So we've got it go in that direction. See if we can encourage them a little bit. So I'm going to be pushing away. Ouch. We're getting there. Now, ring mandrel it yet. Yeah, we can try and bang on it for a little bit. So I'm gonna make this for me. I don't even know what size ring that fits. We'll just say 10. What tool is your fork tine bender? This guy right here is, I got it from Flatware. It's Pratt Reed. It's just a hollow tube. Some people use the nut drivers. They'll cut off the ends. Some people just use copper tubing. It will do the same thing. I just bought this one because it was easier. Ouch! Not a good way to start. So I'm just trying to make this curve out a little bit more so it can start wrapping around my finger. And right now I'm trying to hit those spots just like before with the rings. We've got high spots, so there's air coming through, trying to round those off. I wonder if it would be easier just to round them this way. Big one here. Motion alert at my shop door. Alright, so I got that in there. So my fork tines are here. It all looks fuzzy to me, so I'm sorry if it's fuzzy. Lou said, hey, I saw someone use a metal straw to bend them. Yep, I've seen those too. So my fork tines are pointed out. Just gonna run them over. Get that to sit on there, right? Button. Now we've got this shape. Hey. And on the underside. So now bring this out, and let's see, how are we gonna make this safe? Okay, I'll leave it just like that. And to figure out how to make this curl around and not pinch. Like that curve. See if that worked. Now we have this shape. We got a ring. And it's all the way on. So I just crossed them over, so it's like it's a regular round on the bottom. I mean, I can clean that up a little bit. That sits nice, and it does go all the way up to the knuckle. Mine's not $112 though, but I can put a moonstone on there. It works. And at the angle that it is right now, I will have enough to be able to sand that over to make it look more symmetrical. And then from there, it's just polish it up. Get this backside. Be a little bit neater. I can, no problem, make these rounded up against each other. And the other nice part is that if you need to size it, you can. Because once you pull this apart, you should be able to get larger size out of it. So I'm just putting my pliers in here and I'm just pulling them apart. And there we go. Sized up. Awesome. That's cool. I like that. So I sized that going here, so that puts the part where it's going right around the finger. So letting it hang, this is a size 11. Definitely too big for that finger. That's probably right for that one. What is this ring? 10.5. Definitely have to shrink it up some. But we did it. I'll take that for a win. Woo! What else was there today? There was a bunch. I'm gonna take that as a huge win though. That's cool. I'll definitely be taking some pictures of that. I think it was the same person, come on. Sent me another picture. Oh, it was a birdhouse. There's an upside down birdhouse. So it would have the roof on the top here, where I normally did them like this, and then put a penny on the bottom, and then soldered a roof to the top. For those, you would just have to do the roof on the top. Again, not my picture. Very pretty. I have made them like that, but that definitely saves on the soldering because you just have to solder it one time. That's it. Okay. Awesome sauce. I got those done. I got a whole bunch of stuff. Toss in the tumbler. Got a feather. A whole bunch of elephants. Oh, I got one of my new dragon rings. Be the second one that I've got ready for my original design. That one's gonna go in the tumbler, and all of those rings. And in the morning, oops, way wrong button. In the morning, I'll be able to package those up, get those out in the mail. So glad I found this thing. Stainless steel one is definitely the way to go. And I think that's about it for me tonight, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out. Is it a necklace? The birdhouse? Yes. Yeah, they're pendants. I have one here. Here, birdhouse, birdhouse, birdhouse. Found a squid. Squid, squid. Found a giraffe. Oh, is that one? Oh. Got some snail napkin rings. These are huge. This was one I did a long time ago. It's a druzy. It's dyed stone. But I thought it looked cool. And the squid. And I think one of 2 giraffes ever made. Oh, and there's another sterling ring. Sweet, found all kinds of stuff today. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Having someone to talk to definitely makes things go a little bit faster. Sometimes. Darla. Darla. If you haven't yet, please like, share, subscribe, so you get all of my new updates. If you haven't yet, is that glued on there? Yes, it is glued on. It's the E6000, and it's been on there for a couple of years. The stone will break before the glue will break. I've tried getting off a couple different stones that I wanted to reuse. No, if they're on there for a while, they're not coming off. At least in my experience. You too, Monica. Have a good night. And I will see you guys all later. I don't know what the next thing will be, but I'm sure to be soon. I have a ton of orders coming my way. So I'll be on here. And if you guys want to see any more ideas or something like that, like this, just let me know. And I'll see what I can do. All right, have a good night, guys. And